For more insight into the key developments this week at the Bishops' meeting, we turn to Dr. Matthew Bunson, Editorial Director for EWTN News. Matthew was also in Orlando covering the meeting for EWTN. It's great to see you again, Matthew. What does this vote on the ethical directives for hospitals mean, and what can we expect next? This is about transgender care, right?
To a large degree, it is. Bishop Flores, who's in charge of the committee that's now tasked with coming up with the draft for the revision, recognize the fact that this particular section of the directives, Part 3, which is the patient healthcare provider or patient hospital relationship, that these directives haven't really been updated since 1994. And as we all know, there has been a massive sea change in so many of the realities that the healthcare providers are facing and the pressures, especially today with transgender ideology. So that's one of the keys, I think, in this discussion. How it goes forward now is going to be the question, because the bishops, probably the most aggressive of their conversation today in amongst themselves, addressing this question of a draft, want broad and wide consultation among healthcare providers. And as I think it was Cardinal Tobin from Newark pointed out, we also need to listen, he said, to members of the trans community in order to get their inputs. So we'll have to see where the bishops go with that. But the task now is to get a draft created to be looked at by the bishops. But that, based on the conversation today, is going to take some time.
Was there any mention of those who regret their transitions or regret any kind of impact of this kind of care?
No, but I think one of the aspects that these directives are going to have to touch on is the deep sensitivity of the human person, recognizing on the part of healthcare providers, Catholic hospitals, the human person made in the image and likeness of God. And that's going to be, I think, an important element here, especially if the request has been made for broad and wide consultation.
And it looks like Bishop Flores is aware that they're going to have to be very specific. What kind of impact will the statement on disabilities have, and why was that brought up in this session? What was the impetus for that? Really quick.
Yeah, well, in much the same way that it's been many, many years since we had the revision of the Part 3 of the healthcare directives, it's been 45 years since the bishops issued a statement on people with disabilities in the life of the church. That was, in fact, before the passage of the American with Disabilities Act in 1990. So Bishop Barron, who's in charge of this process, said that we need to have a new draft in order to reflect the language that we have today, but also the many challenges that exist for those with disabilities in the United States and beyond.
And the possible new resources. Thank you so much, Matthew.
Good to be with you.